Coming up on Look Today, well, the Bill and Joanne Stock Foundation donates $1 million to Glens Falls Hospital. I've got details. And today is the last day of Registry Week for the shelters of Saratoga. More on that coming up. And we have more updates on the Glens Falls revitalization initiatives. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, and happy Friday. I'm J. Hood Jackson, and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Steve Van Dixhorn. He's a senior pastor for the Pine Knolls Alliance Church, and we're joined by Robert Munyon. He's the chairperson for the Christian Sober Living House program. They're here to talk about the process of rehabilitation in a safe environment. I also sit down with Lori LaFont. She's a director of Friends of the IBA, and we're joined by Trish Markey. She's a director of the Wildlife Institute of Eastern New York. Now they're here with a snowy owl. His name is Oz. And they're here to talk about the Washington County grasslands and the near extinction of the short-eared owls. Plus, we've got your weekend weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, we've got these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, check this out. The Bill and Joanne Stock Foundation announced a $1 million donation to Glens Falls Hospital today at a press conference. Now, the donation is in honor of Bill's mom, the late Joyce Stock, who served as a nurse at the hospital. Now, the donation will go toward the $5 million renovation project underway at the Snuggery Family-Centered Birthing Unit. Well, we were at the conference where Bill Stock spoke.
One of the tenets of our foundation is to make it a demonstrable impact to a community, and it also means sustainability. So we look at this as the beginning of what we're going to do in the Glens Falls community, and I look forward to the future and the opportunities here. So yes, this is the beginning.
Well, now we also spoke to Diane Kirshner. She's a director of Women and Children's Services at Glens Falls Hospital.
This is fantastic. This is going to allow us to expand our nursery, expand our special care nursery, and really put the rooms in a much more modern looking facility.
Wow. In other news, well, Shelters of Saratoga is holding its Registry Week, and today is the last day. Now, the registry is a list that documents everyone who qualifies as homeless. Now, all week long, the shelter, along with other dedicated community members and organizations, have been reaching out to the homeless community to make sure that no one is left out on the streets. Well, we spoke to Mike Finocchi. He's the executive director of the Shelters of Saratoga.
We're doing this Registry Week so we have a better idea and a grasp of the actual amount of individuals that are homeless. Okay, and through this registry, and it coincides with our strategic planning and the company that we're working with. This is one of the steps of their process.
Now, we also spoke to Paula Tancredi Penman. She's a coordinator for Registry Week.
So Registry Week is we take the entire week to try and contact 100% of the homeless population. We ask them to take a very simple 7-minute survey. From this survey, what we can determine primarily are the service gaps to the homeless.
All right, switching from news to weather. Well, today saw overcast skies, possibility of snow showers later on this evening. Well, let's see how the weekend is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. As we jump into our first look forecast, still watching for some very limited moisture across portions in the northeast. Now hang around over the next few days. Actually still watching a low well up across portions of northern Canada right now, rotating in those winds and a little bit of moisture back out from the north and west. The rest of the country right now seeing a big wide swath of high pressure and control. Cooler weather even back down across portions of Florida. They're seeing temperatures a little bit unseasonably cold for this time of year. So that's what we set up the shop right now. Still seeing that snow shower activity, especially coming off the lakes. We're going to see many spots, especially as you head closer to the lakes, picking up 3-4 inches of snowfall from the lake effect machine as that ramps back up over the weekend. Temperatures sliding back down below freezing. Boston 26, Burlington also 26, 29 in Albany, and pretty much the entirety of the Northeast stays below freezing with us tonight, including here across the Tri-North counties. 26 degrees the overnight low. We'll see overcast skies, chance at a few snow showers, and then highs tomorrow about 10 degrees warmer. 36 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Can't completely rule out a chance at a snow shower, especially for the early morning hours. Could see a few flurries. Temperatures about 26 to 29 as you head out at 8 a.m. We'll see those wind chills feeling like they're as cold as 15 to 20 degrees. So big time cool down with us, and we'll see temperatures kind of hovering throughout the next couple of days in the mid-30s. Sunday, 20% chance of some snow, high 32, and temperatures tumble back down to 15 degrees for the start of Monday, with a high wrapping up at 27. Then our coldest morning out of the next 5 coming Tuesday, 12 degrees for the morning low, and high reaches 32. Well, that's it from the First Look Weather Center. Now let's get back to you, Jesse.
Thanks, Brian. Hey, and a reminder, especially because it's Friday, the second weather report within the program each night has a ski report. All right, back to the news. We've got more updates on the economic revitalization initiatives in Glens Falls. Now, early on in the week, we told you about the art grant initiatives. Well, we spoke to Rhonda Tiller. She's a communication associate for the Hyde Collection about how these initiatives might affect the collection.
Anytime any light can be shown on the arts is great for the city. The arts draw people in, and having more money to work with, whether it be grants or any other, really giving ways to publicize and let people know that we're here. The Hyde is one of the premier arts institutions in the region and is a great economy driver. And if people come to the Hyde and then have reason to know about Larac or the Chapman or any of the other great arts programs around, they have more reason to stay. They're more likely to stay in a hotel. They're more likely to go to dinner. And that's great for Glens Falls and the surrounding area and its economy.
Couldn't agree with you more. All right, up next, I sit down with Steve Van Dixhorn. Now, he's the senior pastor for the Pine Knolls Alliance Church. We're joined by Robert Munyon. He's a chairperson for the Christian Sober Living House program. And they're here to talk about the process of rehabilitation in a safe environment. Plus, I also sit down with Lori LaFawn. She's the director of the Friends of the IBA, and we're joined by Trish Markey. She's a director of the Wildlife Institute of Eastern New York, and they're here with a snowy owl. His name is Oz. And we talk about Washington County grasslands and the near extinction of the short-eared owls. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Well, it's Friday, so we've got some lookouts. And we want to thank the crew. And that would be Andrew and Drew, Jack and Joel, Norm, no more Jesselyn, but Dana, and of course, Antoinette, for making the show possible every week. A couple of reminders about the weekend. State of the City address in Saratoga is tomorrow, and also a very funky kind of wedding tourism thing tomorrow here in Saratoga. Check our website. We did a story on it earlier this week if you want to know the details. But I'll tell you something. Today at Glens Falls Hospital, you cannot believe the excitement. It's not every day that you get a $1 million donation. So the lookout goes to Bill and Joanne Stock for their generosity and commitment to the community. It was just unbelievable. All right, tonight on Look TV, it's Beyond the Headlines and Tracks. We're all delighted it's Friday here. We had one heck of a week. We did some really good stuff this week. And don't forget, you can tune in Monday night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.